Welcome back to the show, everyone. If you happen to be a member that lives in the Muncie area, sometimes in the morning, if you turn your radio station on to WCRD, you'd hear the lovely voices and the wonderful conversations that come from the Morning Chirp. And today, we're very happy to have the two hosts of the show from the Morning Chirp, Charlotte Dunlap and Spencer Frady. Please give it up for them. Come on out. Hello, hello. Welcome to the show. Okay, move it. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Charlotte, you work on this show, so I'm not the least bit interested in talking to you. I see you far too much in the week.
I know you don't mean that.
No, I know, I don't mean that. And I'm really happy to have you guys on the show because I think it is awesome to have another form of Ball State media really coming and, talking about the program and, giving the viewers at home and even our audience just a really cool look at it. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So now every year they choose different hosts for the Morning Chirp, right?
Well, yeah, we sort of started up this year. It was kind of a pilot last year, and then we kind of took it over, and we're going to set it up to where it's going to pass it down to the next set of hosts for the next fall.
Very cool, very cool. And now you two knew each other before you were hosts, right?
Yeah, we're both seniors, so we'll both be graduating in the spring.
Right.
So we've had classes together since our freshman year, so we've known each other for quite a while.
Well, that's good. Now, does that help, or does that kind of take away from when you guys are having your banter kind of on air?
I don't know. I think it kind of helps because we know what the other one's going to say, kind of. So
Yeah.
that's helpful that way, but it's also kind of hurtful because we don't typically know the arguments that are going to happen. Like if we ever have any skirmishes on air, we don't know where it's going to come from.
Sure.
So.
Well, typically around here, either Richard and I will sock one another in the face and then, just kind of have a dogfight over it. But the interns usually pull us apart, so that's good. That's never on camera. That's behind it. But I think it's great. Well, one thing that your radio show does is you guys allow call-ins, kind of. And you said that you haven't had too many this year. But how does that kind of work? It's a live radio show with call-ins on a college campus. You've got to be a little bit afraid of, what you're going to get, I mean, just kind of like...
Okay, yeah, no, we allow... There's a lot of ways for people to get involved on our show. Like we have the Facebook and Twitter pages that we use. And you can chat live on WCRD.net, and you can also call. And the way that we handle those calls is they'll come straight to me. We always say you can call either one of us, but they come to me first. And
I don't get that privilege of answering the phone.
Of course not. We don't let you answer the phones around here. So him telling me this you're just our private receptionist, and that's it. So
yeah, but I'm kind of the technical guy of the show, and so I take the phone call, and I usually kind of figure out whether or not they're going to be good on air. And a lot of times, like you said, they're just college kids looking for some hijinks. So
sure, right. Now, you two, while you guys are the personalities of the show, what's the kind of group that you have behind it? That's kind of the behind-the-scenes production that's really allowing this show to air all the time.
Right. Well, considering that we do this every morning, so 5 days a week, we knew that it would be way too much work if it was just us writing everything and putting everything together. So we actually put together a production team that involves people for promotions. We have a creative writing team that helps put together like the segments we talk about and things like that. And then we also, a part of our team is for booking our guests and things like that. So we definitely have a great system behind us, so we couldn't do with them without them.
Sounds like a really great support system. I mean, much like our show and other shows that air on around campus, there is that support. But I do kind of have to ask, being in radio, people kind of say that radio is a dying art form. What are your kind of thoughts on that?
Well, that's probably true in that radio is losing audience. But the way we kind of are combating that is we're using Facebook and Twitter more aggressively than other shows do. Like we have a segment that we do called Charlotte Shenanigans, where we'll put a poll on Facebook with a few options to vote on what we want Charlotte to do, and then we'll make a video of that. Like this week's poll was either she was going to prank me and start a prank war,
or what was
or she was going to recite monotone gangster rap lyrics to random people.
That's right. I voted for that one.
Yeah, and that's the one that won.
Because you had said on the air 2 days ago you just really didn't want to be pranked. And I was like,
I'm
like, I can't blame him. Charlotte trying to prank someone, that's just going to end
horribly.
Would be really good. No. I don't see it happening. But I just think, I mean, is it a little bit discouraging for you guys as people in radio to just kind of be working with this thing that in some people's eyes is really losing steam?
For me, it is a little bit because I found something that I really love to do, and it's one of those things that, isn't progressing as like I'd like to see it. So me wanting to go on radio when I graduate in the spring, I think it's going to be a lot tougher to have a secure job in the radio when I graduate. But I also think that it's something I love to do, so I'm going to do it while I can. You know what I mean?
I think that's great, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, is there, a sense of, kind of doubt or just kind of thinking that, that you're just kind of working in this medium that is just no longer, some people, I mean, there are people that walk around that just don't care about it anymore.
Well, for me, it's not that it's dying, it's more of a challenge now, in that there's a lot more places you can go with it, a lot more fun you can have with it, because I think in terms of radio, it's going to be more of a local thing. You're going to get super local stations where you can do more things in your community, which is what we try and do on our show. So we're trying to take it in a whole nother direction. Whereas it's still radio, but it's kind of like our new version of radio.
And I really think with your integrated media techniques that it's really shining through and kind of putting you guys ahead of everything. I think that's great, and I'm really glad that you guys are able to just kind of get out there every morning, put on a show, and not think about the negative and really do it because you love it. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I think we just have so much fun with it in the mornings that that's not even a concern to us, except when you're like getting down the nitty gritty when you're trying to look for jobs. But now I have a lot of fun with it. I mean, I hope you do too.
Well, absolutely.
It's fun, yeah.
But I'm like, but in that sense where you're saying that you're trying to look forward to a career in being in radio, doesn't that scare you? And do you have a backup plan for some other, area you could be working in?
A little. It does worry me a little, and I know we're both TCOM majors, so it's not like we're just secluded to radio. We do news, we do everything, every form of media there is. Spencer and I know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at least for me, I have a minor in marketing, so I have a lot of different options. So
absolutely. And
my minor's in German, so I don't really have much to go on.
Well, you can always go out there and start up the Spencer Youth or whatnot. I'm just kidding. No, really. Just kind of just again, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. And just the way that you've said it, with being in the TCOM program, Ball State really does a wonderful job of preparing their students for the workforce and all other areas, and you guys really exemplify that. So that's wonderful. For everyone that's kind of watching at home, please tell us where they can tune into information about your shows, polling for Charlotte, shenanigans, whatnot. So let us know where can we get in touch with that.
Okay, well, our favorite way is Twitter.
Right.
You can hit us up on our Twitter. It's just @MorningChirp913. There's no dot between the 91 and 3.
That's true.
And then we have a Facebook page, which is The Morning Chirp. We had 101 likes today.
We did, yeah.
So
fantastic. Well, congratulations. That's quite an achievement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially starting in this new market where, that's completely different. That's wonderful.
Yep.
And we're still old school. You can still use the phone, which is, they've got the number up on the station website, which you can go to is WCRD.net. You can click listen live and actually chat with both of us in the studio while we're doing the show. So that's a lot of fun, too. So
that's very, very cool. Well, thank you guys so much for coming
Thanks
on the show.
It's
been really wonderful having you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this, so please stay tuned.